Welcome to another Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. I am Benjamin, and tonight I'm going to share with you a theme grouping of banknotes. I haven't done one of these for just a week or two, I think, but it's time to do another one. And I've got a nice assortment of banknotes that all have flames on it. And I thought about starting out with a little song, singing, the Bangles, the Flame, but then I decided I don't have fans because I'm a singer. I have fans because I have some skill with banknotes. So let me stick to some banknotes with you guys tonight and just share with you flames on banknotes. Sometimes the flames are part of the vignette, sometimes they're part of the watermarks, or sometimes they're part of the security features. They're shown all kinds of different ways, and I have a number of ways that I wanted to show them with you and share them with you tonight on some nice banknotes that I have that might otherwise never see the light of day in my collection. So without any further ado, let's begin. Oh, like and subscribe, y'all. Come on. I have I'm into my 200th plus videos. I think it's my 202nd video that I'm sharing with you tonight. And I'm excited to get to 2,000, y'all. So help me out and get me there. And feel free to cuss and discuss at the end of this video if there's things you can add, or if there's a debate you want to have with me about some of my themes of flames on banknotes. Let's go ahead and get started with this Filipino 1,000 peso note. This is one of the older 1,000 peso notes, and frankly, I hadn't considered that I had any 1,000 peso notes, so imagine my surprise when I was looking through my notes and I found this one. I think I started pulling these flame banknotes a couple years ago, like maybe 2 years ago, and I just haven't looked at them for a while in my collection. But on this first note over here, we have a fantastic flame over here, and a lot of times when you see the flame in this regard, it has to do with some sort of national memorial, like, for example, maybe a eternal flame, in a cemetery for heroes or something. I don't really know where this flame is, but over here we do have heroes of the Philippines and former leaders, and so I imagine it has something to do with patriotism. And if we turn this over, that is not part of an offset register or anything, so you just have your regular terraces here on the back of this note. Let's move on to the next flame note. Leaving Asia and headed to South America, we have this Suriname banknote. And it's a nice 1,000 golden banknote. I wish it was worth that much, but it's not. But they have a flame too, although at first blush you might think that this flame over here is a little potted plant. It's a much more subdued flame, and the flame itself doesn't look so flamey, if you ask me. Here on the back of the note, the flame isn't carried over in any meaningful way to the back of the note, although I do want to point out this amazing lathe work that's over here. They really knew how to use their lathes back in the day. We're going back to the Philippines and Asia again, and this would be a nice note for flags. You see the nice flags are on that end, but it's when you look at this end that it's kind of interesting. This flame is actually not part of the banknote design. It's one of the official overprints. The Philippines likes to take a printed note and run it through another press with another little printing, and in this case the flame is part of the logo for the Church of Christ Centennial from 1914 to 2014. Iglesia en Cristo Centennial, 1914-2014. There's your flame. And government buildings on the back. In fact, in this case, the Central Bank of the Philippines appears on the back. So we've seen flames as part of a vignette, and we've seen flames as an overprint. So let's take a look at this Zambia banknote. And here on the front of the note, we have their first president. We have what I understand is a fish eagle, and I'm guessing it's a fish eagle because it looks like an eagle, and there is a fish in its claws. Nice little butterfly or moth right there in the middle. But where is the flame? Ah! The back of this note has a whole lot of themes. We have a different rhinoceros. This could be added to my rhinoceros theme. Corn, or, grains that appear. The chain breaker, which is a famous video it's a video I need to do And over here, it looks like some sort of, I don't even know what the heck that is. Some sort of, perhaps, primitive money, or I always thought they were duck feet, but somebody can enlighten me. And over here to the left of our chain breaker, there is a flame right there. A hand holding a flame. And it's not on the other side. And it doesn't appear as a watermark, so let's move on to this 10 Zaires of Zaire. There's a kleptocrat Mobutu himself right there. I don't think very much of that man, especially after what I read when it came to some of the people he acted like he was friends with that he was instrumental in killing. It's hard for me to get over him. But the man knew how to choose a nice banknote design for his country. And here we have one of the most colorful and easy to determine flames that appears on a banknote. Reddish orange fire on a field of yellow with some amazing lathe work on all sides. A beautiful rendition of a flame. We'll move from there to Samoa. And this is a Samoa 10 tala. And it's interesting because of its nice blue coloring, multicoloring background. You can see it has a fractional prefix that alludes to the commemorative nature of the banknote too. This note was issued to commemorate the 16th Pacific Games, and sure enough you have PGXVI, which means Pacific Games 16, and then a relatively low serial number, 7-digit serial number, but here we have banknote number 5,432, or 52 rather. We have some local athletes taking hopefully medals in some of these events. I think we have a weightlifting event here. It looks like we have a canoeing event here, and then it looks like there's some sort of rugby or football event right there. Lots of colors here in the middle, and it is a polymer note, so you're like, where's the flame? And it's like gonna bite you on the nose if you don't take a look right here, because we have probably one of the game torches right here with the flame as part of the logo, and you see the flame here, and you see it echoed in some of these other colors around it. It's a very nice rendition of a flame, and I'm sure that from the back side we're going to notice it's a flame as well. And sure enough, on the back end of the snow you can kind of see the flame here as well. And you see some additional athletic events here, but where the other side had professionals, this side looks like it has children. Yep, you got a little boy lifting coconuts, and you got a group of kids playing a pickup game of rugby, and then there's a guy in outrigger canoe. So it's kind of neat, the traditional and the modern athletics in Samoa. Let's move over to a country I'd like to visit someday, but I'm in no hurry to visit because of the cruelty of the government. And this is a 1978 banknote, an Oship 1, which means a 51 of North Korea. Chosun Minju Jui Min Konghwa Guk Chungang Unhang, Central Bank of the People's Republic of Korea, from 1978. And over here we have, you know, the blessed peasant, and, you know, we have the motifs of the soldier, the worker, the educated, and the peasant, all combined together, holding up books, probably the sayings of Kim Il-sung, and then a flame of Juche. And if you look at the torch here, that's what it says, Juche. So it's like the flame of self-reliance, I guess. But they knew how to do lathe work on these old notes. And when you turn this one over, it's as bucolic as the other side is raving, if you ask me. Now that's a beautiful scene in any country, and I would love to see it like that. And someday I might be able to. No flame on this sign, but beautiful mountains, forests, and a very peaceful pond. Let's move to Tanzania. And on this Tanzania note, this 100 shilling, you can see over here to the far left, we have a flame. And in this case, the flame looks like it might be the offset register. Let's see if there's a flame on this side. Sure enough, there's a flame right here. And if you hold this flame up, or this note up to the light, the inner parts of the flame that are colored here and the outlines of the flame that are colored here combine to make the whole picture complete and in alignment when you look at it through the light. So that's the function of an offset register. So now we've seen the flame functioning as an offset register. And nothing on the watermarks yet, guys. Just a big old giraffe head on that one. Let's move over to Skipperisi. I know that's what it looks like it is, but I believe this is actually, I was going to say Albania. Is this Albania? Yeah, it's an Albania 100 lek, and they just follow some sort of weird European rule of how, let's spell our name Albania without using any of the letters that appear in the name Albania. It seems like that's the case. But here we have a lovely flame right here, and you can kind of see it, and it's very nice. Whenever I draw flames, and like whenever I've submitted designs, you know, in the past decades, I used to submit designs in some of the mint competitions. Never have actually won, but I've tried. And when I've submitted designs for Olympic flames, I've tried to use flames like this that look a lot like the flame here on this Albanian banknote. Very nice note. And on one side only. So there we go. We're going to go to South Korea for the next banknote. And I want you to know, when you look at this banknote here, it's not very clean. And it's got some tears and it's got some folds. But in no way does this condition take away from the beauty of this particular banknote. I absolutely love it. And this was probably the banknote that helped me get over this hatred I had of banknotes that were not uncirculated. So it took me a while to not be a banknote snob, but I'm glad I got over it, because there's nice notes I wouldn't have otherwise. But here we have a lovely 51 as well. So it's a denominational comparison to that North Korean note. And here on the back, not nearly as pretty as the North Korean note, but here we have a giant flaming cauldron as the middle motif on this 51 banknote. Rose of Sharon's or hibiscus that you can see here surround this big flame. We're going to move from South Korea to the Bank of Indonesia. This is a 10,000 rupiah, or a 10,000 rupiah, and forgive my instruction, or forgive my pronunciation. But here we have a Boy Scout scene, you know, setting up camp here. And if this wasn't on an Indonesian banknote, this looks like it could be what it is here in the United States when the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts get together and have a cookout. Maybe even the Girl Scouts, because it looks like there's all kinds of scouting there. So I'd have to look at that a little closer to see what's going on. But the flame, I didn't see on that side, so maybe the flame's on this side. Nope. You know, I'm wondering what the flame is. Let's see if the flame isn't the watermark. Oh, I know what the flame was. Here I am being goofy. Take a look right here. The flame is under the teapot. I think that this was a stretch for me to include this one in the flame deal, or maybe I was feeling humorous at the time. But there you go. The flame heating up their pot of tea at the Boy Scout camp. We're going to move back to Suriname, and this is a similar note to the 1,000 that I showed you earlier, but this is a 5 golden. And when you look to the right, you have a different flame. This is a much better looking flame than the one that appeared on the 1,000. And similar background, lovely lathe work over here. Much better flame if you ask me. We're going to move back to Tanzania. Here's a 10 shilling instead of 100. But you see over here that it's another one of those offset register flames. A torch. The flames on this side and the outlines line up with the flames on this side and the outlines on this side. So when you hold that up to the light, you can see a perfect note. I don't know if I can show that. Let me do a test. Let me try. Did you see how we have those white patches of flames? And then when I shine on my light, all of a sudden you see the yellow and you see the full picture showing up. That's kind of the function of an offset register. It's very hard to line that up, and so counterfeiters don't do a good job of orienting the front and the back. And that's a good way to tell if a banknote is real or not. We're going to move over to Chile. I have a 2,000 pesos here, and it's a polymer note. And let's see where the flame is. Is the flame on the face of the note? Nope. Nope, not that I see. Unless I turn it over and don't see it there, and then we'll try again. And this is the back of the note. It's a Chile, 2,000 pesos, Church of the Dominicans. Where is the flame? Ah! This might be where it's at right here. Let's see what is on the opposite side. Ah, right there. That is an offset register on a polymer note. Let's see if we can't look at the whole thing and see if it looks a little bit more flamey. So here we have the flame. Oh, I had my wrong flashlight. I was going to blacklight it. We have the wrong flame, but if I shine the light through it, there, you can see the back and the front picture superimposed, and you can see a full flame whenever you have this backlit. So another very nice rendition of an offset register of a flame. We're going to stay in South America and look at this 10,000 sucres of Ecuador. I liked Ecuador's later banknotes, and you can look at the style of them, and you can tell that they were made by the banknote works of Mexico. And sure enough, if you take a look down here, it actually says Banco Central des Ecuador, but I think the design and everything came from the same people that designed the lovely, like, 5,000 peso with Chapultepec on banknotes from Mexico. And here on the back, you can see that skill in engraving echoed in this Palace of Independence in Quito. But where's the flame? Ah, here we go. Do you see in the bottom right-hand corner? After all that fire, there's the flame right there. And that is a flamey-looking flame. And when we look at this side of the note, you can see it right over here. You can see the flame right there. And I have two of these notes here together, so if I shine a light through it, it's not going to show it aligned. But this is a third example of the flame as an offset register. We're going to move back to South Korea for one of my favorite 101 banknote designs. And here you have the Donglip Moon, or the Liberty Gate, that replaced the gate that the Koreans had to go to every year and receive the envoy from the emperor, as they received permission to be ruled by China for another year, and as they got permission for their government and their king, and they paid, tribute to China on a yearly basis. So when they no longer had to do that, they ripped down the welcome portal to China, and they replaced it with the Liberty Gate. And during the times of the Japanese occupation, this gate was the only legal place where you could see the Korean flag, the Taeguki, the little yin-yang symbol. It's pretty interesting to me. But where's the fire? Where's the fire and all that? Must be on the back. And there we go. We have another cauldron of flames surrounded by flowers. I think this is a nice one. And the lathe work, almost looks like the rays of light coming from the flame in the center. It's a very nice flaming banknote. And our last note that I'm going to share with you in this crazy long video, longer than I'm used to doing, is a Ukrainian 10 hryvnia or something. I can't even pretend to pronounce it right, so I'm not even going to try. But here we go. This is a Ukrainian 10 something, and it's from 2013. And I love the light pinks, reds, and blues and purples of this note. And I don't see any flame on this side, but when I turn the note over, I am still not seeing any flames. I wonder why I included this note. And you know what? This may be an accident, because sometimes when I pull my notes out of my holder, I sometimes pull a note from the next one in. Let me just take a closer look on this to see if there's a flame. Oh, there is a flame. Duh. But it's not a flame like the other notes. If you take a look at this musical instrument and this book and this church, right here above the book is a candle. And at the top of the candle is a flame. This is literally a candle in the wind. And that's the only singing I'm going to do for you tonight. I do want you to like and subscribe my channel, and I do want you to share. And if you have any kind of friends or family that work with the flames or open fire, this might be a neat banknote video to show them. None of these notes are terribly expensive, except maybe one or two. Most of them can be had easily on eBay for less than $5. So please enjoy, develop your collections of flames on banknotes. I am Benjamin. Have a jewel of a day.